Dr. Victoria de Rijke, Professor in Arts and Education at Middlesex University, where I've worked for over 30 years trying to decolonise the curriculum for teachers to work with in school. Policymakers tend to resist decolonising the curriculum because they fear that things will be taken out. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what decolonising the curriculum would actually do, which is to add things in, to complete our knowledge of all of our world understandings, and not to have a partial knowledge or a biased one, but a full one, warts and all. Well, I want to refer to a book written by Ngugi wa Thiong'o called Decolonising the Mind, written in 1986. And he reminds us in that book that the first thing that colonisers do is to impose a language on the peoples they colonise or enslave. And what he wrote was that language carries, particularly through speaking and poetry, the entire body of values by which we perceive ourselves and our place in the universe. Ngugi's son, Mukabu, described visiting his former primary school in 2017, where there are rules on the door, and the second rule read, "Vernacular speaking is prohibited." The world no longer wants or needs this. I think in Poetry versus Colonialism, we see poetry as a teaching method, so a pedagogy, performance with agency, and as activism. So we're just continuing a long line of Black British poets who have an urgent message for the new classroom. So I agree with another poet, Raymond Antrobus, who says many people are stuck in round about year 7 in their decolonising education. And he actually says, I hope we can all make it to university level in the future. So do I. At first, the differences will be quite small, and you'll find lots of poets very modestly saying poetry doesn't necessarily change anything except your feeling. And that's actually quite large when it affects so many young people and changes the way they feel about their identities, about their languages, about their histories. So in fact, it can have very positive change. I think schools need a great deal of help from artists and creative individuals to present a curriculum that engages everyone. And they also need support in those areas of the curriculum that are quite sensitive and need to be managed very carefully and positively. And Poetry versus Colonialism can absolutely help with that. You're dealing with experts who can deliver poetry workshops, you're dealing with historians, artists, makers, things that teachers love to use in their curricula, they love to use in their teaching, and to refer to real resources which can then change the way that we think.